Welcome back to Sunrise. Calling all young aviators in training. Get ready to spread your wings and soar through the skies at Capt. Altitude Aviation Summer Camp. This exhilarating adventure is tailor-made for budding pilots and aviation enthusiasts aged 5 to 13, offering an action-packed itinerary packed with interactive learning experiences from hands-on simulations to educational workshops. Here to tell us more is Director of Capt. Altitude Aviation Summer Camp, no stranger to these parts, Celene Gordon, and Director of the Aeronautical School of the West Indies, Captain Christopher Gooding. And also we have student pilot at Aeronautical School of the West Indies, Roshane Smith. Welcome to Sunrise.
Thank you for having us here.
All right, first of all, Celene, tell me who this summer camp was designed for.
So this summer camp was designed for 5 to 13-year-olds who want to be in aviation or don't want to be in aviation but want to do something different for the summer.
Yes.
Yeah, so anybody who may think that they may want to explore what aviation is like or the fields around aviation.
So we talked about the activities, but how do you have activities for 5 to 13-year-olds? What are those activities like?
I got a lot of flack for that. I did.
How does that work?
Because they're like, we don't have the capacity for young children. But actually, I find that 5-year-olds, my son, he's 4, and he's already into the simulator, he's already into aviation, and maybe because his father is a pilot, but he's into it.
Yeah, you see, that's the thing, because we see a lot of children on career day in their pilot uniform or whatever. So I'm saying, how can we take that initial interest and give them a little bit of exposure for them to feel out, is this my thing?
And that's exactly what Capt. Altitude Aviation Summer Camp is about.
Yes.
So we want to spark that interest. We want to create the next generation of aviators, technicians, engineers, that kind of thing. And we do it through STEM education, a STEM curriculum.
How do you merge aviation and STEM? How does that work?
There's no need for merge, it's the same.
Exactly.
Everything in STEM is a part of aviation. Science, technology, engineering, math, aviation, aircraft. I mean, aircraft couldn't fly without technology nor the engineering that it is. So merging it is simply just what it is. You know, we bring them in. What Capt. Altitude has managed to do, where we don't have the capacity, is to make it fun and creative for 5 years all the way to 13, and then 14 to 18, we take them over, we bring them into our HAPI program at the Aeronautical School of the West Indies, and then we make them into pilots, and then they could move on to their career as being an airline pilot.
How long is the program, the summer camp?
So the summer camp is 2 weeks. 2 weeks. July 8th to 15. And it's at the Creative Kids Learning Academy that already has a great STEM program in their curriculum on a regular basis. So we're so happy for their partnership. We've also partnered with Digicel Foundation, JPS Foundation. I'm forgetting somebody.
Aeronautical School.
Aeronautical School, of course. And the Tourism Enhancement Fund and the Jamaica Tourism Development Initiative have really come on board with a little support that they're giving us and talking to the children about other careers around the aviation industry. So not just becoming a pilot or an engineer, but anything else.
But tell us about, like, because I can imagine that, I mean, these things are not cheap. So, I mean, I know that with support, it's made more affordable. Tell us how, like, a Digicel comes on board to provide that kind of support.
So, what we want to do is expose, Dennis, children that wouldn't be able to afford aviation. Yeah. And so, Digicel comes on board and they're able to afford the program, the exposure, and I don't know, maybe years from now, the career.
But I want to see something. I see this beautiful one bagger, and I'm sure doing something bagger-rich, right? So is there any way, I'm sure we have
Roshane, you can jump in.
So what are we looking at, Chris? You're looking at a simulator,
So
TK, and Chris will tell you more.
This is one of the entry-level simulators. This is why we bring this out for the kids. So this is not one of the sophisticated ones. We've just invested in the real thing, you know, the real sophisticated moving sim. So what this allows us to do, it allows us to give them an introduction into aviation. With the basic controls, you have your yoke, your rudder pedal, the brakes, all of the engine instruments, everything on board. And what it allows persons to do is to sit in it, and now you're immersed into what would be a simulation of a real aircraft. So this is your screen with all the lovely instruments. Of course, we have the aircraft display in the middle of the screen for viewer enhancement, and they can understand. So what Roshane is doing right now, he's flying the aircraft and he's making a left turn, or they say in aviation a left
And
bump.
the simulation is actually very real to
It's
life.
actually very real, yeah. So the control is actually applying a force on his hand, where there's a force feedback, so he can then understand the effects, and then he can correct. So then probably, Roshane, you can do a right turn so they can see what a right turn will look like. So in the simulation, as you can see the aircraft for our viewers, it's turning. And then in the real simulation, if he decides to climb, you'll see the airspeed reducing. So that's a dive. Could you give me a climb, Rush? So you'll see the airspeed now on the bottom left of the screen is reducing. And this is beautiful Jamaica. As you can see, he's over the harbor of Kingston, and Port Royal is coming up on your right.
Chris, I always find the view from the cockpit the most interesting. Can we switch the view?
Yeah, we can.
Yes.
So this is inside the cockpit. So this is what the pilot would be seeing when he's flying, with all of the instruments. Of course, in the Captain Altitude Summer Program, as well as HAPI program and the Aeronautical School, we'll teach you about all of the instruments, what it's like, the radios, the functions, everything that is done. And you can come and get that pilot license finally.
I think that ship has sailed, but I appreciate that.
Trust me, it never leaves you. It never leaves you.
Is this can you choose bigger planes, smaller
Yes, you
planes?
can choose.
So
You can
this
choose.
is
like Airbus, like proper,
Cessna.
proper.
This is
Yeah, this is a Cessna 152 for
Then it's fine,
demonstration.
just know these things.
just know.
Just know these things.
TK, I thought you were the
I was in high
So
school,
for
people.
yes, this is a Cessna 152, and for training purposes, this is what you use in most training environments. So
Right.
we use this. But if you want to have fun, we can put on the bigger planes and you can have fun. But on this simulator, you need some about the experience with the bigger planes too. They don't react like the smaller one.
Okay,
But we can
got you.
choose any aircraft we would
Okay,
like.
nice, nice. Celene, finally, tell
remind
us, how can we find more information about this summer camp?
So, Aeronautical School of the West Indies / Captain Altitude .com. And then, of course, you can call me 819-0199. And we are on Instagram, on Facebook at Captain Altitude. And so come check us out, look at the photos, and be a part of something special.
I think this is such a great program.
I
Thanks
think
so
so
much
too.
for
I
telling
think
us
so
about
too,
it.
especially for parents who are trying to find out, what am I going to do with this child this summer? Well, this might be something definitely that you can invest in their interest.
and
You
as-
never know what it can create.
As somebody who actually did a program like this, I'm telling you, it's life-changing. It really exposes you to some amazing things. So do it. So our guests this morning were Celene Gordon, Director at Captain Altitude Aviation Summer Camp, Captain Christopher Gooding, Director of the Aeronautical School of the West Indies, and Roshane Smith, who's still flying, student pilot at the Aeronautical School of the West Indies. Kids Unfiltered is up next. We'll be right back.